Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Ben Luening, I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and this is Horst Luening, my father, the senior taster of Whisky.com. And today we're talking about the Whisky.com Awards 2024.
In April.
In April. not the yearly awards part.
So we are a little bit off the record. We've had some jokes going on just immediately before we started this video. So I'm always sitting. I'm just 2 inches. You're 2 inches taller than me, and looks different.
Isn't it said that you always grow an inch every generation? Shouldn't it be like 4 meters high already?
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, April has been a bit of a slow month as well. And so we didn't have much choice. And there were, again, only 2 that we would nominate for the Whisky.com Awards in April. And
yes, and with one we have a different judgment.
Yeah, the thing is, I think you would have set it on one podium place higher than I did.
So this is the Glenlivet Founders Reserve. This is a special whiskey for, I think, more or less Central Europe. The Glenlivet 12 years old is very famous in the US and is the most often sold single malt whiskey in the USA. And when demand had risen that much, Glenlivet decided to discontinue the 12-year-old in Central Europe, and they brought out the Founders Reserve in 2015, I think. Mm-hmm. And this is younger, not much younger, but it's younger, and it has definitely a lot of first fill American white oak cask, ex-bourbon casks in it, and the 12-year-old had a little bit more of sherry cask influence in it. And this one is a little bit cheaper. It's 32 euros here in Central Europe. And the Glenlivet started the 12-year-old in Central Europe last year or the year before, when their new still house with these huge 2 rows of huge stills were 12 to 13 years into operation. And the Founders Reserve is still on the market and is still running strong because nothing else was there. And for me, Glenlivet is one of the really major distilleries which are available. And in former times, people from the Glen of the Livet. Livet is the river, and Glen means valley in Scottish, in Gaelic. And the Glenlivet, there are other distilleries in the Glen of the Livet. And so they added Glenlivet to their name to, have some
regionality.
And easy pick for a good reputation. So I think this is a wonderful whiskey and deserves a 3rd place. Yes. And you're not that fond of Glenlivet.
Yeah. The thing is, I have visited, I would say, nearly all of the distilleries. This is one of the blind spots. This wasn't. I have Talisker that was halfway my fault that I didn't get into, but Glenlivet is. I just can't get into Glenlivet. I've been to the visitor center. Yeah, that's it. Nice. But I've never experienced Glenlivet.
I have been in Glenlivet. It was, I think, 1995 or something, or 1994. But there was no guide, no tour, just have a look at the still house. And there had been
Did it belong to back in the days?
It was always Pernod Ricard, I think.
Pernod Ricard, okay.
Or was it called differently then?
And the thing is, when you have a whiskey, usually when you have been at the distillery, or you have found your first whiskey, or you had a very nice talk at a whiskey fair or something like that, then you have a connection with the whiskey. And I just don't have a connection, even though I've been to the launch event of this whiskey. That's the only connection that I have with Glenlivet. But I do have a really tight connection with Kilchoman. I've been to Kilchoman twice, and they are such a nice distillery, do such great stuff. And this is the Kilchoman Tour 2024, and it's a limited edition for Germany only. So sorry, but we're a German whiskey shop, and this was a really, really good edition. But the normal one, the Uniquely Isla, I think it's called, they are also 57.1, looks very, very similar, also green label. They taste very similar to that. And I found it to be a nicely smoky, sweet, just a pure Isla malt. It's just really, really, really nice.
Yeah, and there's no second place this month. So there hadn't been enough whiskies tasted. It was a slow month.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. The Kilchoman Tour 2024 is the best whiskey of the month. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.